Yes, what's up, polyglots? Good evening. So you already know that I'm someone who is passionate about language learning, and I spend most of my time doing researches on how to learn languages. So today I'm going to give you some tips on how I learn language. So I'm going to give you like a step by step. So the first thing that I do is I choose the language that I learn. Of course, so far I've learned two languages. I tried to learn Swahili language, but then I gave up. After some time, I'll do a video and explain why I gave up on Swahili language. So far I'm learning Spanish and Portuguese. I can also say I'm still learning French, even though I speak French and I can communicate very well in French, but I'm still learning French because you never stop to learn a language. It's a lifetime project that you have to dedicate yourself on. So the first thing that I do is I choose the language that I would like to learn. Like in this case, I chose Spanish and Portuguese. I started with Spanish, but I'll also do a video explaining how to learn two languages at the same time. But today, let me focus on the steps that I take when I'm learning a language. So I choose the language that I want to learn. And the second thing that I do is I go on the internet and I search 250 most used language words in that language. There may be phrases or chunks of words that I check on the internet. For example, good morning, good afternoon. There are some words that I don't want to learn about the first time that I'm learning a language. For example, names of trees, names of fruits, names of animals. Those words are not even important at all when you're just starting to learn a language. And I also check the words that are similar in English. For example, if I go to French, there are words like education where you just change the pronunciation. So I check all those words in that language that I want to learn. So I already know that I have this list of words that I know. For example, words like what, for example, simplicity. So all the words that end with Y in English, in French you put E accent, and then when you go to Spanish you put dad. For example, simplicidad. Okay, and when you go to Portuguese, now on dad you add E in the end, so it becomes simplicidade. You see, so that's what I do. I check also the words that are similar in the language that I already speak and the one that I want to learn, which is my target language. And I work on pronunciation because pronunciation is very important when you're learning a language. There's a difference between accent and pronunciation. Someone might pronounce the word wrongly, and that will be a problem because people will not be able to understand you. But if your accent is different, it's fine because we cannot all have the same accent. Accent depends on where you come from and your mother tongue. So when I work on the pronunciation, the next thing that I do is I work on grammar. When I work on grammar, I don't focus more on grammar. There are just some notions of grammatical rules that I work on. For example, how do I form the present? How do I form the future and the past? So once I have that idea of how to do it, then I move on. I do not dwell much on grammar because it wastes time. Grammar will not help you to be fluent in a language. We talked about comprehensible input. It's the one that helps you to improve or to acquire the language naturally. After grammar, I work on listening. I listen a lot. I think I watch over 10 videos of about 30 to 40 minutes in a day in Spanish. If I'm going out, if I'm, I don't know, driving with friends or doing something, I listen. Okay, there are podcasts that you can listen to, so they help me a lot. Because if you want to learn a language, you have to learn it in a natural way. You don't have to force yourself. Just listen to things that you love. We talked about comprehensible input, which has to be interesting. I love language learning, so the videos and audios that I listen to are mostly about language learning. I also love traveling, so I listen to audios or watch videos about traveling. So look for the things that you love and listen about those things. Okay, and then so I watch videos on YouTube also, and you just switch on the subtitles so that you can listen and read at the same time. The last thing that I do is I read a lot. I love reading. And reading helps you to improve and acquire the language naturally. Actually, we talk about input because input is what is getting in, and then the output is what will go out, what will come out, what will you will produce. Sorry. So we've got listening and reading. This is input. Then speaking and writing is output. So focus more on input. Listening is very important. People have to understand what you are saying, even if you are not able to speak. Okay, so these are the steps that I take when I'm learning a language. I'll develop more on this subject. I know there are people who are learning languages, especially now with this coronavirus. A lot of people are using their time to learn languages. I have a lot of things to do, but I try to dedicate some of my time to language learning because it's something that I love. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Hasta luego, hasta pronto. Salam alaikum, peace.